cities and towns of upstate, which once bustled with manufacturing, mining, and farming. We all know from inspiration, history, and nature, we deserve a return to the success and growth of generations past, a birthright being squandered by corruption in Albany, and the depredations of an insecure, scheming mountebank posing as governor, who loathes both us and himself. As liberty beckoned to enslaved peoples behind the Iron Curtain via American broadcasts after World War II, we now say, believe, rise, and join us. Welcome to Radio Free New York.
Hey guys, welcome to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister, and we have Kevin Wilson with us.
Hello.
Hey Kevin, how's it going?
Oh, living the dream, enjoying the beautiful, weird November weather.
Yeah, you know, I gotta tell you, it's great. This weekend was great. We had sunshine, we had warm weather. I got a bunch of outdoor stuff done. I'm thinking maybe today and tomorrow. Tomorrow looks warm too. Might jump out and get on the motorcycle for a few final rides this year before I put it away for good. I thought I had put it away for good already, but guess not. So
yeah, no, I mean, might as well take advantage of it while you can. Yeah, I mean, I was watching the Bills game outdoors, socially distanced and whatnot. You know, with some friends. So we watched got to enjoy that on a big screen TV outside.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
How often do you get to do that in November?
Yeah, not very often. That's for sure. Not very often. So, yeah, no, and I see Tony's already in the live stream. Tony says change scares me.
Change scares me. Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, what Tony's referring to is the show title. We said, you know, for those of you who are on the live stream, you can see it, but if you're listening on podcast or on the radio, you might not be able to see that. Today's show is titled Big Changes Coming. And I think probably people are thinking that we're talking about the election, which technically speaking, we will be talking about that in the election, absolutely. But we also have a announcement for Radio Free New York, which is I'm going to be taking a bit of a step back. I'm going to be doing, I'll still be around a little bit, but much less often. You guys will probably hear me on Fridays from occasion, you know, here and there. But Kevin is going to take a more prominent role on this show, and so is a very good friend to both of us, Larry Sharp.
Yeah.
So
moving forward, I will be doing Mondays and Wednesdays. So I'll actually be on one less day a week, unless I'm like going Fridays sometimes, which I might be. But I'll be on Monday, Wednesday, and Larry Sharp will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sometimes we'll do shows together, but most of the time we'll probably just do shows separately. And then on Friday, we're going to have a series of rotating guest hosts, and Andrew will be on many of those times on Fridays too. So not every Friday, but, you know, maybe once or twice a month.
Yeah. And so for those of you who are listening to the show right now who are wondering, like, oh no, did something happen? I've just had a couple changes to my schedule that couldn't really make it work, you know, so we just kind of had to make some adjusting. We'll reassess in a couple months and see if those changes continue to hold true or not. But I'm excited, especially to, you know, Kevin has done such an awesome job. And Larry does a great job too, so very, very excited for you guys to be, you know, carrying that forward.
Yeah, and you know we always get great feedback too when we have Larry guest host. So you know we're excited to have him part of this, and we wanted to make sure that we continued it, right? We want to make sure that we continue to kind of being that beacon for truth in New York State, and you know spreading our message as far as possible. And too, we're excited to look for, we're excited to look for new opportunities with Larry as a new partner now to expand the show and continue bringing on new and interesting guests. Because if you don't follow Larry and his stuff with the Sharp Way show and the other stuff he's doing, it's great as well. And having his talent in here is going to be awesome.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. It's kind of funny. I've spent so much time with Larry. Obviously, we ran together in 2018. And even after all that, I still love hearing the guy. Still love talking to him and listening to what he has to say. So.
Yeah. And I still try to catch his shows, as many as possible. He's doing like 5 or 6 shows a week now.
Yeah, yeah, no, he is keeping really busy. So he will now also be busy here on Radio Free New York. Sounds like at least 2 days a week. So that'll be great.
Yeah. So again, we're looking forward to that, and then I'm looking forward to continuing to do things like bringing in guests once a week to continue to have these good conversations that we have with people like local officials, national people, whoever we can bring in, and then hopefully Andrew will join me for a few shows, and we can continue to have some fun ones where we just gonna talk about whatever for an hour.
Yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. Very excited about it. And I see Tony, on Facebook says, seriously, these are good changes. Looking forward to hearing Larry more. So, yeah, very good. Very exciting. And I think we can probably switch gears a little bit to talk about some of these other really big changes that are happening in our country right now. I think we got to talk about the election a little bit, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll have to talk about the fact that Kanye West didn't win.
I know.
What happened?
I thought, even though, because he was on the ballot in 10 states or something.
Yeah.
I didn't even see any results posted for his name. Like,
What?
I should have looked that up. I kind of forgot, to be honest, that he was running, even though we did a show about it. We should have had him on as a
I know
as a
the
candidate.
missed opportunity.
Yeah, man. I'm next time.
No, there's
time he
this one.
runs.
Yeah, next time. I'm sure he'll be around again. I mean, there's one hilarious graphic. I think it's from like state of Mississippi or something where he's on the ballot, and they had like, Donald Trump, getting his like 60 some odd percent, Joe Biden getting whatever percent, Joe Jorgensen, the Libertarian candidate, and then they had just a blank profile photo for Kanye West, just like one of those like black outlines.
No,
And him getting his like 15,000 votes.
couldn't find him, I
And everyone's
guess.
like, could they not find a picture of Kanye? Like, I feel like,
Well, they probably, to be honest, if he didn't provide a picture, could you imagine, if they did choose a picture and then, like, I don't know, got sued over any number of, licensing things of using his likeness,
Yeah.
there's probably, yeah. And Tony says, what about Brock? How'd
Brock.
Brock do?
uh, not great. Brock did also. He also did not win. Surprisingly, he was not on enough ballots to win. He was on a New York State. Didn't do as well as. I think he did worse than the Libertarian candidate and the Green Party candidate. Not that that's saying a ton, but yeah, that's not great.
Yeah,
Not great
I'm
for him.
looking
So
at
Independence
numbers,
Party
and
is
it looks
also
like
losing.
He got less than half of the Libertarian candidate.
Was that what it was? Oof.
Yeah, I don't know how up to date these numbers are.
Is it the unofficial New York State results? Let's see.
No, this is
Brock
posted by
Pierce.
the Associated Press.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at the unofficial New York State result. Brock Pierce, 17,621 votes.
Oh, mine shows
So
648 or 17,648. So the Associated Press, I guess, gave him a handful of extra votes.
yeah, they just run away
Yep.
with the election here with those extra votes for Brock. Yeah, so he got 17,000. Howie at the Greens got 23,000 and change, and the Libertarian candidate got 47,638.
And which means no Green Party in New York, no Libertarian Party in New York, no Independence Party in New York. Those
Yeah.
parties gonna be gone. They're gonna either have to win a lawsuit against New York State or collect, I don't know, over 50,000 petitions to get their name on the ballot to
Yeah.
then try to get a certain percentage of the vote in 2022.
Yeah, that's what's going to have to be the next election. Now, I'll throw out a prediction here. I think that the Independence Party is just going to go away. It
Yeah,
ain't
they
going to
don't
be
seem
around
interested in sticking around.
anymore. No, like I know to me it's always like no offense if any of you have done this, but like a lot of people think that they are registering as an independent when they check that box, and then they're very surprised to learn that they're part of the Independence Party.
Yep.
It's always shocking to a lot of people, and yeah, like a lot of, not everyone, but a lot of people didn't understand what they were actually joining when they did that, and a lot of times they globbed onto whoever they thought would do the best in an election in order to build influence. I never particularly liked that model. I think that the libertarians, and I know Tony's saying in the comments, pending litigation. Yes, I know there's litigation too, but saying if that lawsuit isn't successful, I think the libertarians are going to be around no matter what. The Greens are going to be around no matter what. They're going to make an effort at it. Even if it's not a statewide thing, the parties themselves are going to stick around and try to be active in local elections in some regard.
Yeah. And we didn't mention Sam Party. Sam Party's gone.
Yeah,
as
they didn't run
try.
anyone.
Yeah, they didn't even try. All right, guys. Well, we are going to take our first break of the hour. When we come back, let's talk about the media calling the election before the results are in, and why that could be a bad, terrible thing. And I'd love to hear you guys' feedback on this too. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a moment on Radio Free New York.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
This year, Camp Good Days is reimagining the 20th annual wine auction dinner as an online auction. The auction will be held on November 12th through the 19th and will include medal-winning wines and spirits from this year's Finger Lakes International Wine and Spirits Competition, and also an array of other exciting auction items. Cancer doesn't stop during the pandemic, and neither do we. We have continued offering a variety of programs for our families, including virtual camps. The money raised from this auction will help us to continue providing our many programs and services for children and families in our community impacted by cancer. Please visit campgooddays.org or call 585-624-5555 for more information.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
You're listening to Radio Free New York.
All right, welcome back to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister. Got Kevin Wilson with us, who Kevin's going to be the new host, the hostess with the mostest. Radio
Oh,
Free
God.
New York.
All right, you're fine.
No, if you're just joining the show and you missed the first segment, I'm going to be stepping back a little bit from the show just from some time commitment issues. Don't worry. Nobody called me up and said, hey, you're really bad at this, get off the air or anything like that. Although probably there's people that think that. But I've got some time commitments that have come up that I just have not been able to reschedule. So Kevin and Larry Sharp are going to be running Radio Free New York throughout the week for the foreseeable future. And I'll still be on sprinkled, in there throughout the month, probably on some Friday shows. And very excited about that, but also want to talk about the election. So before I dive too deeply into my thoughts, Kevin, what do you think about the press sitting here calling the election, Biden giving a speech saying he's won the presidency, asking Trump to concede at a point where we're not totally sure how many votes are still out there to be collected? There's some states that are extremely close. There's states that haven't fully reported yet. These are all projections. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I love that our producer played the fake news Friday theme at the top of this segment. But no, I think Biden's still going to end up taking it away. Like when I've read the analyses of the different election results, it is very close. I think that there's a very, very, very small chance that some of these states flip around, but it would have to be like all of the states that they've called, right? Like, so like the states that are still close, like Wisconsin, still very close. I'm looking at like a 20,000 vote margin. So there's probably going to be a recount there. Nevada.
Georgia's got, based on the numbers I'm looking, I said 10,000 originally, but it looks like less than 8,000 vote difference right now.
Oh, yeah. It's very close in Georgia. I mean, it's wild that Georgia is even going blue.
Yeah.
It's a strange thing to see that happen. So it's very, very close. Georgia could flip around. Nevada's close. Arizona, it seems like it's still pretty close.
Yeah, it looks less than 11,000, 10,000 votes in Arizona, looks like.
I'm seeing more on a different one, but it's still very close, right? So a lot of these states would have to flip around. And again, like I said, the Pennsylvania thing, like there were still ballots coming in on Friday, and they haven't decided, like right now, there hasn't been a definitive decision on whether or not ballots coming after November 3rd are even going to count. Now, it looks like even if those don't count, it'll probably still go to Biden, but it's going to be close. Like, it's very close. So all these have to be looked at, scrutinized. Any legitimate concerns about, fraudulent ballots or things like that need to be looked at. And I've seen some, it's not, just the accusations coming from the Republicans either. I've seen, there's one incident, it looks like these guys drove up on a Jeep and tried to deliver a bunch of fake ballots, but they were associated with QAnon, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Out in Pennsylvania. So I'm not sure what the deal was with that. I looked into the one, because I saw one, like in New York, there's this guy who's a mail carrier, and he accidentally tried to drive over, like, into Canada, and he had a bunch of, like, mail in his car. But it turns out there's, like, 3 mail-in ballots in that, so it wasn't, like, a ton. But
it wasn't going to swing the New York election, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think that New York is going to swing to the GOP this election. It's just, I think Biden's got that one.
Yeah. So there's that piece, right? There's the counting of the ballots. And let me just throw this out here as to why I'm concerned about this in general. If it does change, and we'll talk about maybe 2 other scenarios where the results could change. One of them being Electoral College, faithless electors. Another being maybe the ballots later, come in, or another one, just the U.S. mail delivers a lot more ballots after the cutoff date, and people get really upset and try to challenge it that way. We have these scenarios coming up. My issue with this is people are going to have even less faith in the system, in the electoral process, because the media has already said, this is what it is. Biden already gave a speech, and if it changes,
world leaders have already thanked him.
Say it again.
World leaders have already congratulated him.
Everything. So if in the end it turns out, and I'm not predicting that it is or isn't going to happen, but say it does, people aren't going to accept that. People are going to say, what do you mean? How did Trump steal this away? Because they don't understand the process. The media isn't discussing the process. When I Googled the search term, when will the official results come in for the 2020 presidential election, the very first hit and every hit below was a New York Times article that said the official results are already in and counted. And
yeah, that's not true.
Yeah, it's not true at all. But this is what the media is spreading out there. And here's the thing, like Kevin said, more than likely, all this is going to pan out as Biden winning. More than likely, that's going to be the case. But in the chance that it doesn't, in the chance that we have a faithless elector, or a few of them, which we'll talk about what that means later, or in the chance that some ballots get recounted and a few states switch, people are going to think that it was some shadow government action that's stealing away the presidency, and because they just don't understand the process.
Yeah, you think Democrats will start thinking that?
Yeah, they won't
Russia
say that.
will have
say
stolen
it's
it.
Trump, and that somehow he gamed the system and took it over and everything, just because they don't understand. They don't understand how it works.
They're going to say Russia did it.
Yeah, it'll be Russia.
Exactly,
Russia meddled with the election, something along those lines. But the fact is, the electoral votes don't even get cast until December 14th. And I looked up. I was trying to see, have electors ever cast votes outside of the popular vote? And turns out it's happened a lot in history, as recent as 2016. So, there is a possibility if something like that happens. Oh man, if we thought that in 2016 people fighting to remove the Electoral College was bad, then I think people would probably lose their minds this time around.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think so too. But most of the times when people have been faithless electors, it's illegal to do that. I think in most states.
Only in some states.
Yeah.
It's illegal in some states. Most of the time, the repercussions is not legal. It's your party disowns you, and you get censured.
Yeah, that's how the Libertarian Party got an electoral vote in 72.
Yeah,
I think it was.
There you go.
First electoral vote cast towards a woman to the Libertarian Party, because the VP candidate was Tony Nathan.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it's pretty unlikely that would happen, but you're right. It could, in theory, happen, but I think it's unlikely only because the contested part is more how did the states decide what electors to send to go and do that, right? To go and cast their votes. I don't think any of New York State's Democratic Party electors are going to flip to Trump. I don't.
No, and I'm not
unlikely.
suggesting that happens, but there could be, in some of these really close states, who knows what might happen. You might see Republicans switch. I don't know. I kind of think that's even less likely, to be honest.
And this is how Joe Jorgensen wins the presidency.
There you go. Joe Jorgensen for president could happen. There's still time, guys. Guys, you're listening to Radio Free New York. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to just explain what faithless electors are. That way we're all on the same page, talk about the Electoral College process a little bit, and then we've got a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about. We'll be back in a moment on Radio Free New York.
because you're not sheep. AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center tonight. Mainly clear, another nice night ahead. Temps in the 40s and 50s on Tuesday. Sunshine up into the 70s. Rain showers arrive on Wednesday. So mild, though, in the upper 60s. Cooler, back to sunshine near 50 Thursday. I'm Rich Cornelia, WYSL.
At Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Anthony Drive off Route 96 in Victor, they're celebrating Jeep's 80th anniversary with Adventure Day savings. For a limited time, lease a 21 Jeep Gladiator Sport 4x4, $279 a month for 42 months. A 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4 is just $299 a month for 42 months. Lease a 2020 Jeep Renegade 4x4, only $189 a month for 36 months. Or a Jeep 2020 Compass Latitude 4x4 is $249 a month for 36 months. Jeep, America's iconic four-wheel drive brand, and Victor's got a great selection. Shopping for a pickup? Victor's got lease deals on the Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram. Lease a 2020 Ram 1500 Classic Warlock 4x4 for just $199 a month for 36 months. Be sure to get full details from the dealer. Equipment and MSRP vary by model. We're here to fully serve Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram customers in Victor, Canandaigua, Macedon, Fairport, and throughout the Metro and Finger Lakes. Shop with confidence and safety and full CDC compliance. Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 6560 Anthony Drive in Victor.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Because your future is worth it. Mgm Associates Insurance. Proudly serving the region since 1984, MGM can meet your coverage needs, ranging from home, condo, and auto, all the way to specialized policies for business, workers' comp, to limo and taxi insurance, and coverage for tech professionals like IT specialists. They can also help lead you through the confusing maze in the new world of health insurance coverage and options. MGM Associates is large enough to serve you, but small enough to care, so you don't have to wait in line on some 800 number to get prompt personal attention. MGM Associates is the only winner of the National Best Practices Award 5 times in a row. MGM is proud to support veterans groups, including Heroes Home Advantage. For your personal, business, home, or professional insurance needs, put the experience of MGM Associates Insurance on your team. Locally and proudly owned at 1745 Penfield Road in Penfield. 381-7008 or mgminsure.com. An associate of Finger Lakes Fire and Casualty, Route 227 in Trumansburg, New York.
With colder weather coming, know that Turnbull, your York certified comfort expert dealer, has the highest quality, most reliable York systems with the best warranty in the business. Install confidence this winter season with Turnbull Heating in York. 10-year parts and labor warranty, 0 interest up to 18 months, more than $300 in utility rebates, and 24/7 service by certified Turnbull technicians. Install confidence this season with Turnbull and York.
You'll be comfortable with the best. Turnbull Heating and Air.
Call 343-2005 in Avon 226-6180.
Villa of Hope is here for you. Adults, youth, parents, grandparents, no matter who you are, we are here to respond to you and make connections to the services you need right now. How that help looks may be different from before, but we are committed to making sure we are giving you our best while keeping everyone as safe as possible. Let us help rebuild your resilience. Call 1-877-584-HOPE. That's 1-833-993-HOPE.
Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten-Free Bakery offers a great selection of specialty pizzas, including dill pickle. With fresh dill pickles made in Avon, regular and gluten-free, call 226-9575. Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten-Free Bakery.
Flower City Collision in Henrietta is your hometown body shop. Flower City works with all major insurance companies, repairing your vehicle back to pre-accident condition. Finest craftsmanship using PPG products. Get it done right. Visit flowercitycollision.com.
You're listening to Radio Free New York.
All right. Welcome back to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister. We have Kevin Wilson with us, and we're talking about the election, and there's actually some good comments in here. One or two by Drew. I'm trying to scroll. Drew says, the first 2 years of the last administration was spent on shaking out the election process. We can do this every time our candidate loses. We are the people who love to waste money and time. And then a little bit further down, he also mentioned, is it patriotic to push a scenario that our elections are fraud? I think both of these things are really important to say because, yeah, the question is, do we want to become a country that spends the vast majority of its time and resources, and that's actually probably like, I should roll that back. It's not the vast majority of our resources, but a tremendous amount of time of like media resources and also taxpayer money on trying to roll back the results of an election that the processes seem to work for quite some time. Not to say it couldn't be improved. I know that me personally, there's some things I would love to see change in our election process that I do think would make it not only better but more accurate and give people a little bit more choice. But should we be spending that much time and resources on this process that has carried us this far? What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, I think what we're going to end up seeing this time around is kind of a flip side of the Democrats are questioning the results of the election the last 4 years, saying that there's Russian interference. And I think that the Republicans are going to do the same thing. I think overall, election fraud is very rare. And I think it becomes a problem in absence of really hard evidence to continue insisting that there was election fraud well after the results have been audited. Like I want to see that everything worked well. I want to see like audits of the election results, particularly in highly contested states. I want to make sure that everything's buttoned up. And then like we need to move on. The Democrats never did that in 2016, and I'm worried that the Republicans are going to do the same thing. And we're going to have alternating years of not merely being frustrated that they didn't win, but the consistent accusations that the system itself is rigged when it doesn't go their way. I don't think is good for a healthy republic.
Yeah, and I would agree as well, which is why, and I know I'm not alone in this, but I'm certainly a minority voice in this when I say a validated online election where you can vote digitally, you can validate your identity, and then you can get a receipt that you can look up at any time and view how your votes were tallied. I think just solves so many things, but too many people don't understand technology. There are security risks with technology, and it's new and scary to people. I think it would be a great, amazing thing for our country that would solve some of these issues, but at the same time, because of where we are as a society, I don't think we're ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great. I mean, I think there's so much you should have to work out too, like privacy issues too. Like, is your vote going to be private and secure if you're able to audit and see that it was put in, like that type of stuff.
Yeah, well, you would just get like a random receipt number that you could then type in, and it wouldn't have your name or anything. It would just show the votes cast with that receipt number.
Yeah, that's a way to do it. But again, I think generally the election system in the U.S. works pretty well. There are certainly cases where there has been fraud committed, but they're very, very rare, and usually people are caught pretty quickly. So it's not all that common, not like we see in many other countries, where there's pretty serious election rigging that substantially changes the results. And you have, authoritarian regimes that, you kind of know how things are going to turn out before the election happens. We see that in like places like Venezuela, right? Like there's no legitimate elections going on down there. Everyone knows how that's going to turn out. But I don't think we're anything close to that. So I didn't like what the Democrats did in questioning results for the last 4 years, and I'm probably not going to like what the Republicans are going to do in the next couple of years because, again, I think that's just where the country is. I think that a lot of people didn't like Trump. I think that's what it is. Yeah. I want to see for sure. Sure. I'm not, like you and I have been cautious where we're like, we're not going to go out and be like, yeah, Biden's 100% the winner, which is what the media started doing over the weekend. I think everyone just kind of want it to be over.
Yep.
Everyone start dancing in the streets.
Yeah. I just always have a problem with the way the media projects things, and in that rare case that something were to change, what is that going to do to our country? My worry is really bad things. I don't think it's going to change, but if it did, I think it's going to be a serious problem.
Yeah, well, because then, you think the Democrats calling election fraud from 2016 was big. Like, wait until this time, too. Wait till that happens. Yep. If that does happen and Trump does end up being president again, then, it's going to be a mess. I think we'll see a lot of violence, unfortunately, because people are not going to understand.
Yeah. I was talking with somebody earlier, and they said if something like that were to happen, you'd see like countrywide riots, probably. So, and once again, even if it happened, and when we're saying this in like a legitimate way that follows the lines of the process that have been used for, well over 100 years. However, people don't understand it. They don't understand that when you go to vote for president, you're not even casting a vote for the president. You're casting a vote for an elector in your state who is then theoretically more than likely going to cast a vote for the same person you did.
Yeah. Were you on the ballot as an elector this year, Andrew?
I don't believe I was. I don't think so.
I was. So, anyone vote for Jorgensen, you're also voting for me as elector.
There you go.
I think. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
So I did notice something else in here. This definitely worth us talking about is the New York State Bar Association did write a a resolution recommending that the state legislature mandate COVID-19 vaccinations for all people who live in New York. And go ahead.
I was going to say, and I think they had also recommended in that report too is they want to start with New York, but they think that would be constitutional and legal to have a nationwide mandate as well.
Yeah. They also said that there should be no exemptions for religious, personal beliefs, and I forget what the third one was, but they didn't mention medical, but they mentioned like everything else. When they say mandated, they mean mandated.
Yeah, there's a part of that says like there would be an exemption for like if a doctor says that you can't have a vaccine for some reason. And this is a report. There's like a committee that drafted a report making this recommendation for the New York Bar Association a while ago. It was like back in May, I think. And then like they had their meeting of everyone and decided to like make this recommendation like public of the full Bar Association and explaining why they think it would be constitutional, legal, and moral to mandate a COVID-19 vaccine for everyone. And bear in mind, too, that both when the initial report came out and when this report came out as well, there wasn't any news yet of a definitive COVID vaccine. Now, one came out from Pfizer today, and the vaccine isn't out yet. It just it's looking promising that they have a vaccine that looks like it's 90% effective. Not out yet, just looks like it's moving along that process a bit quicker than most of the other people or other companies trying to make a successful COVID-19 vaccine.
Yeah, so definitely important to emphasize that the state legislature hasn't done anything yet. This is just a recommendation from an independent third party, essentially, who's saying, yeah, we think that this should be done, and also we think that it would be legal to do and pass like New York State law. So we're going to take a break here. When we come back, I think we'll explore that a little bit and maybe like one or two other things. You guys are listening to Radio Free New York. We'll be back in a moment.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Need help with health insurance? The Greece Regional Chamber provides assistance with health insurance for businesses, nonprofits, families, and individuals throughout our region. We pride ourselves on the personalized service that we provide for our clients. Let us help you find health insurance plans that fit your needs and navigate the paperwork. Greece Chamber Benefit Partners, located at 2402 Westridge Road in Rochester, New York, offers a broad range of medical insurance plans for businesses, nonprofits, individuals, and families throughout the greater Rochester Finger Lakes region, working with insurance companies including Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield, Univera, and MVP Healthcare. We can also help you access insurance plans through the New York State of Health, the official health plan marketplace. Again, you do not need to live or work in Greece to utilize our brokerage services. We serve the greater Rochester Finger Lakes region of New York State. Visit greecechamber.org to sign up for one of our free health insurance information sessions or schedule an appointment with one of our licensed brokers. Call 585-227-7272. 585-227-7272.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Radio Free New York.
Welcome back to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister. We have Kevin Wilson with us. Kevin and Larry are going to be taking over doing Radio Free New York throughout the week. I'm going to be taking a little bit of a step back. I'll still be on the show Fridays here and there, but just had a couple things come up. Really happy that Kevin and Larry are going to be sitting in and carrying things forward for the future of the show. And Kevin, I realized before we took, not this break, but the last break, we said we'd explain what a Faithless Elector is.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
We never did that.
So for those who might have heard us talking about the Electoral College and how votes are cast for president, we had mentioned a Faithless Elector, which is an elector who say they're a Democrat and the majority of the popular vote went to their candidate, they, on December 14th, cast a vote for the Republican candidate instead. Or, vice versa. It could be a Republican doing the same thing. Or really any party that gets the majority of votes, depending on how the state electoral law is set up. Essentially, when you go to vote for president, you vote for not president, but you vote for an elector who is hopefully going to cast the same vote as you, and throughout history has been mostly consistent with that. However, there have been occasions where the electors have cast a vote for somebody else, and that's happened in the past as recently as 2016. However, none of them that I was aware of have changed the result of the election.
Yeah, I think there was a Republican elector in Texas who voted for Ron Paul. I think.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
So.
Yep.
It can happen.
Absolutely. Sounds like we have a caller on the line. We've got Eric from Allegheny County.
Hey, guys. How are you today?
Good.
Great.
Thanks for calling in to Radio Free New York.
Thanks for doing what you're doing, and thanks for taking my call. I heard you mention the bar, and I want to lay out a couple of points about how important and how dangerous the bar is. First of all, every bar member carries the title of Esquire, Esquire, next to their name. That's a foreign title. An esquire is basically the promotion of a squire who serves a knight who serves the crown. It's a British title of nobility. So I would submit that we have a foreign organization calling the shots in all our branches of government. They're bar members in the legislature. They're bar members in the judiciary, that's for sure. They're bar members in the district attorney's office. Almost every defense attorney and public pretender is a bar member carrying a foreign title of Esquire. So very dangerous. Now, the New York State Bar is a subchapter, a subcorporation of the American Bar, and that American Bar is a subdivision of the International Bar Association, the IBA. And the IBA, the International Foreign Bar, calls the shots, and the American Bar falls into line. The New York State Bar does basically what the American Bar wants it to do. So this can all be traced back to an international organization with its members carrying titles of nobility, Esquire. And you should do a show sometime on the missing 13th Amendment. It was passed by Congress in 1810, was ratified in 1812, just before the British invaded. They had 12 of the 13 states necessary to ratify this amendment, which dealt with titles of nobility and the prohibition thereof. The American Congress was just about to pass a prohibition which would have prevented anybody carrying a title of Esquire to enter our government, whether it's in a judicial or a legislative capacity, whatever. And just as that final state was about to get that amendment ratified, the British invaded, the War of 1812. Most of the archives and records were burned, went missing. But a police investigator named Dodge did a very thorough report and found out that that amendment was very well ratified and is in many constitutions included in its original form. So there's all kinds of historical evidence that that's still in effect, that prohibition against titles of nobility, which have infiltrated all of our members of all of our formerly separate branches of government. And is now unified them.
That's definitely pretty interesting. We'll have to check that out. And what Eric is bringing up, Eric, thank you so much for the call. Eric's talking about earlier in the show, we were talking about the New York State Bar Association passing a resolution suggesting that the state legislature mandate a COVID-19 vaccine. And I think that that's something really important that we should talk about the ramifications for this if this were to be passed. Kevin, what do you think? I know how I feel about it, but what are your thoughts? Mandated COVID vaccine?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. No, I mean, I will probably eventually get the COVID vaccine. How I think this is actually going to play out is I think they're going to start requiring it in schools. Like, I don't think it's going to be like...
I think it's going to happen too. Yep. They're going to say your kid cannot go to school without a COVID vaccine.
Yeah. So, like, I don't think this is going to be like, we're going to mandate this for every man, woman, and child in New York State. Like, I think it would be tough to enforce. And I think you'd get a lot more resistance for that. What will end up happening is they'll say, well, we have this vaccine. We have a few months of it working safely. So over the summer, they'll say, in order for schools to be open, in order for your child to attend in-person school, you will need a COVID-19 vaccine because it has been proven safe for your child. That's what I predict is going to end up happening. And it'll get a lot less resistance because a lot of people want to go back in school, and they want the virus to stop spreading.
But I agree 100%. I mean, that's exactly how I see it. They already kind of did that a little bit this past year when they passed that law saying that kids had to have their vaccines to be able to go to school. There's a lot of opposition to that, and then it just happened anyways.
Yeah. And it's just a very small percentage of people are object to this in the first place. And then there's like the people like in between like me who I'm like, well, I don't like mandates, but also you should probably get your vaccines anyway.
Yeah, there's certainly there's certainly a situation where a lot of people sit here and they say, yeah, I had a vaccine. Vaccine didn't do something bad to me. I feel like it's keeping me safe and healthy. That's a good thing. But there are families that have had traumatic bad experiences with vaccines and health-related problems as well. And I think that, those people are going to be very vocal about this and very concerned about their children and their well-being.
Yeah, and I'll say it again. It's exceedingly rare to have adverse vaccine reactions. But, at the end of the day, you still own your body and you have a right to make those medical decisions. The argumentation that's coming out of New York State Bar is related to, they're saying, well, there's a public health reason to have this, like that by not getting a vaccine, you are jeopardizing the health of those around you. Therefore, you can be compelled to get a vaccine in order to protect the rights of others. Is that a good argument?
Nope.
Nope.
I don't think so. Nope. And here's why. I mean, I can't imagine anybody telling me that I have to inject my body with something against my free will, and that's law. If we want to talk about people having ownership of their bodies and a right to choice, and being able to make their decisions between themselves and their doctors, which I believe that most doctors are going to say this. If they believe it's safe, they will say it's safe and advise their patients to do so. I think at the end of the day, it's about consent and whether or not you're going to consent to put something in your body.
Yeah, that's the important thing. That's what we want, a government built on consent. Isn't that nice? That you shouldn't be forced to do anything that you don't want to, as long as you're not hurting people or taking their stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I think that if New York State goes this route, it's a dangerous, slippery slope for sure. Of course, they'll do it in a way that is for the children. And they will also say it's for the economy and all these other things. And some of it, they wouldn't necessarily be wrong in saying that. But once again, let's not force people to do something they don't want to, especially with medical decisions. Guys, you're listening to Radio Free New York. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch you same time, same place tomorrow.